Well, today's episode, we're just going to keep it short with two reviews. First one is a collaboration between two different companies, a showdown, I might add, between IWS, a promotion based out of Montreal, Canada, taking on GCW. So basically, this is going to be a much interesting event, but we're also going to have two championship matches that are only based from that particular company, IWS. And of course, after that, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling with more on the New Japan Cup, but however, we're now in the semifinals. Who will walk out to head to the finals on Tuesday? So here's who we have. We have Tama Tonga versus David Finlay. Which one out of those two would make it out? We'll find out. And then, of course, we got Sonata. As you know, Sonata is now a member of the newly renamed group known as Just Five Guys. Takes on Mark Davis, who's been subbing for Will Ospreay since he got injured. So we're going to see which of these two matches will show us who will go to the finals. And then after that, we've got some interesting news updates. As you know, apparently Tokyo Pro Wrestling has already made plans for their upcoming LA event on Wrestlemania Weekend. And of course, we got plenty other things to talk about. So let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with IWS versus GCW uneffing sanction. This is a very interesting promotion now. When during an IWS event, there was a video package that was sent by Nick Gage telling him that they're coming to their territory in Montreal, Canada, which is a very interesting. Now, there have been moments where, of course, we saw both promotion invaded their rivals. GCW invaded IWS in Canada. Well, recently during one of the most recent events, IWS also invaded GCW. But however, excuse me, this particular day is where we see who is going to be, what's going to happen since then. Now, our opening match, we have tag team match, and we got a couple of wrestlers. If there's some wrestlers you guys never heard of, you should check them out. Our first match is a tag team. We got a group called Fresh Air, never heard of them, consistent of Macrae, Martin, and Junior Benito. They take on, of course, the young pillars of GCW, East West Express, known by Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. I thought this match was a very interesting, really good one because, you know, sometimes we got to see really good tag teams when it comes to what countries we're from. It doesn't matter if it's here in the States or in Canada, Mexico, you know, anywhere. But it was a very impressive match until the East West Express applied a double cloud cutter onto, I believe it was on Macrae, and picked up the win just like that. Now our next match, we have women's action. We have Sawyer Wreck taking on Lufisto. I have to say this was a not much of a brutal match, but you see Sawyer Wreck is a tall ass woman, you can tell, but you look at, I kind of envision Lufisto almost around the same size as what Jordan Grace was in her early years, but don't count her out yet. She picked up a very strong win against her when Lufisto picked up a good win with Sawyer Wreck when she put her through a table and then 1, 2, 3, it was over. I think Soy Red couldn't handle it, but it did. Next up, we got Los Macizos, Miedo Extremo and Ciclope, taking on this tag team called TDT, known as Mathieu Saint Jacques and Thomas Dubois. Keep in mind, we're in Montreal. It's French. If I mess up on how to pronounce the names, I'm sorry. But just to make everybody at ease, I'll just give myself a slap in the head. Okay. Anyway, I have to say it was a very interesting match. But it seems like the fans were also getting into the Macizos bandwagon. But unfortunately, that did not, because since we are in Montreal, this had to go to the favor of, TDT, and they picked up a really good win when they applied. They did a submission, but it was one of them. I don't know which one, if I can recall. One of them did a single Boston Crab with Ciclope, and Ciclope had no other choice but to tap. Next match, we have a very big Haas match. We have one called Manders taking on Matt Falco. I have to say, like I said, it's a Haas fight. You probably think, oh, this is going to be one of the most biggest matches out there. Two big dudes. I have to say, it was really a good one. But what impressed me is the end is Matt Falco had, what's his name, Manders, right on top of the corner buckle, and he did an avalanche choke slam on a damn door. I'm like, damn, that's very high. I cannot recall if I ever seen an avalanche choke slam. Now, for some of you probably saying, why did I call it an avalanche choke slam? Guys, if you make it more elevated up, it calls it an avalanche. So, just to keep that on the wrestling terminology. But, I thought it was good. So, Matt Falco picked up a very awesome win. Next up, we got Gringo Loco taking on Mike Bailey. Now, if you guys remember, Mike Bailey tried to calm down IWS after they invaded their last show. I think it was Ransom. But, of course, things got a little chaotic. But I'm not sure if Gringo Loco can get the job done in order to make Mike Bailey pay for, try to help IWS. But, however, Mike Bailey, he's the kind of guy who refuses to quit, refuses to not to stay down until he applied the move Ultimo Weapon right there, giving him a very good win. So, yeah. Now, our next match is one of two championship matches. We have the IWS Women's title between Alley Catch and Melanie Havoc. Now, I don't know much about her, but she was very interesting to watch. But I can tell that this girl has a bit of submission style, which is good. Sometimes we've seen wrestlers how good they can do. But it took, I don't know exactly what kind of move she was doing. It's kind of like almost into a crossface thingy, but you're not. Like you're grabbing them by the neck. She applied that move at least twice to Alley Catch. You probably would think that Alley Catch will find a way to get out of it. And fortunately, like they say, the first you don't succeed, the second you will. And that kind of tells that. So I have to say Melanie did try to pick up the win by applying that, and it came out in that fashion. Our next match is the IWS World Heavyweight title. We got the biggest a-hole in GCW, Tony Deppen taking on Benjamin Till. I have to say many people would have thought that Tony Deppen was going to cheat his way through it. He is a fantastic wrestler, but he's a big a-hole. That's the problem. But, what's his name? Benjamin Tillman, I have to say he really took care of business with Deppen until he put him through a table. I don't know exactly what he did. I don't know if it's I couldn't tell if it's a Death Valley driver or whatever, but it did got the job done to put away Tony Deppen, and 1, 2, 3, he retained the title. So basically, none of the IWS titles were, exchanged, but luckily they did not put any titles for the GCW side, so that's a pretty good thing. Now our main event, we have Fans Bring the Weapons 6-man tag match So we have team number 1. We have Rina Yamashita, Mance Warner, and of course, the king himself, the leader of the MDK, Nick Gage. They take on the Hometown Boys, Sexy Eddie, Green Phantom, PCP, Crazy Effin' Manny. This match was on another brutal, and pardon my language for this, there was even tons of fuckery right there. I mean, we're talking about light tubes, we got glass, whatever you can get your hands on to put away your opponent, to put them, to make them bleed. But however, it was of course a pinfall that was made by Rina Yamashita and Mance Warner to put away Manny, to give Team GCW the win. I thought it was really good. So I think it was a very interesting one. I mean, I've seen many of the GCW versus what not, but I have to say it was pretty interesting. Seeing a promotion based out of Canada. Hopefully I get to see more of them. But for now, I'll just say pretty good show. I liked it. But there'll be more to come with GCW. So let's move on with New Japan. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling. As you know, we are in the semifinals of the New Japan Cup. But we'll get to that. I mean, it's kind of an anticipation to see this, but nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting matches to see who will go to the finals on Tuesday. Now, our opening match, we got Oscar Lobe along with the Roughneck Shota Umino to take on TMDK, Kosa Fujita, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, we have seen on certain occasions with Shota Umino and Zack Sabre Jr. The obvious thing is we know that Shota Umino defeated Zack Sabre Jr. in the matches in the New Japan Cup, but I feel that maybe those are talking. Will Shota Umino challenge for the IWGP World Television title? That is the possibility, but right now there's nothing been said. But this match was very interesting. Once again, and Shota Umino applied the STF onto Vegeta, forcing him to tap out while Zack Sabre Jr. was detained by Oscar Lobe to make him watch as he watched his protege tap out. But you can tell that this is more like a very interesting rivalry between Umino and Zack, because as you know, Zack has always criticized Umino because of his dad, who has a bit of power, but obviously he was wrong. But I think he probably found a worthy challenger. But until then, until Zack says something that he wants to defend his world television title, well, we'll find out. Next up, we got the Rohei Oiwa teaming up with members of Chaos, Yano and Tomohiro Ishii. They take on El Phantasmo, Chase Owens, and Kenta. So you probably can guess that this match was going to end with the Bullet Club no matter what, because Oiwa was trying to pin LP in many reversals, but in the end it was ELP who actually picked up the win. I thought it was very interesting. But later on, we did hear him. He was going to be in the commentating section with Kevin Kelly. He talked a little bit about his what's been going on with David Finlay. So he feels like why did they all of a sudden he was named leader and all this other stuff. I think that kind of felt that way. But however, we know as soon as I finish getting the discussion about Bullet Club done, we'll talk about that. So we'll see. Anyway, our next match, we got the House of Torture. Dick Togo, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil taking on Ryusuke Taguchi, and of course the members of Strong Style, Despy, Suzuki, and Ren Narita. Now, we know one thing for sure, that the House of Torture will not forget the one thing that they lost, which the never openweight six-man tag titles. Now, they never wanted to put those titles on the line against Strong Style, but the New Japan official says they have to. So they will stop at nothing to get those titles back. But the obvious thing is, can Strong Style retain them long enough for them to show them that they mean business? Because as you know, Ren Narita thinks he is the son of Strong Style. But however, Evil believes Strong Style is a dumb thing. So basically, You're facing guys who are strong. But as you probably can guess, Sho brought the goddamn wrench. Again. He brought it. He used it on Taguchi, and it was over right from there. Until seems like they want a challenge for the never open with 6-man tag titles. But nothing has been official yet until it happens. Next match, we got the other members of the United Empire, Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb, taking on Tomoaki Honma and Yoshitashi, my bad. I'm like comparing them with Yoshitatsu and Yoshitatsu. Kind of weird. Anyway, you know that Kyle Fletcher has one thing in mind, is the tag titles that Yoshihashi has with Goto. But, however, in this particular match, it was the Tour of the Islands on Honma that sealed the deal for the United Empire to win. But nothing has been I don't know yet if they actually announced for. By the time this video is out, probably there'll be more announcements, but we'll see. Now we got the other members of the United Empire, Great-O-Khan and Aaron Henare, taking on the members of LIJ, Bushi, and Shingo Takagi. So basically, this is going to be a very interesting. And now keep in mind, Aaron Henare has defeated Shingo Takagi twice. One in his hometown during the New Japan Cup, and another moment. However, the obvious thing is we were expecting that he could challenge for the KOPW title. That is something that we know that United Empire claims that this will be their year, but nothing has happened just yet. But it was, of course, Aaron Henare with the full Nelson on Bushi to pick up the win. But at the promo, he challenged Shingo for the KOPW title, but he hasn't decided what the stipulations, the type of match is going to be. And it was later revealed it's going to be like something similar as kickboxing. If you guys remember, you ever seen those movies where it's the Taipei Deathmatch where your hands are taped? Well, not this time. It's going to be bare knuckles. So this is going to be an interesting challenge to see. Hopefully, Shingo can get himself prepared for this. So we'll see about that when we get there. Now, our next match is we have Chaos members Lio Rush and Yo taking on LIJ's Hiromu Takahashi and Naito. Now, keep in mind this thing between Hiromu and Lio Rush is going to be very explosive. But however, in this case, it was Destino onto Yo that picked up the win for LIJ. But however, you know that there's going to be a date with Destiny this coming Tuesday between Lio Rush and, of course, Hiromu for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. So we'll see how this one's going to play out until we get to Tuesday. Now, our next two matches are the New Japan Cup semifinals. First match, we have David Finlay along with Geto taking on Tama Tonga along with Yato. So this is a very interesting match. However, you can tell much of this that David Finlay is determined to make it to the top, claiming that this ring is his, saying that no one has permission to be there other than him. But it was a much tough match. You probably would have thought it would have been great to see Tama win it, but however, it was David Finlay with the Trash Panda that picked up the win. I thought, oh man, that's crazy. But that's how it turns out. Now our main event is Sonata. As you guys saw, Sonata has changed back to his natural black hair, and he shaved his beard. He looks more handsome than he ever was. You know, even Phantasmo likes it. But I thought it was pretty interesting. And not to mention, he's been in company with all members of Just Five Guys. Taichi, Doiki, Kanemaru, and Taka. I thought it was a great moment to see all of them together like that. But however, he has to go through Mark Davis representing United Empire. I thought this was a very tough match for Sonata, but he wasn't going to give up no matter what people would have said. I mean, I think many people are hoping that Sonata can become the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. That is a title he definitely deserves to have. But he did pick up a good one when we applied that DDT move, and that was it. But in the post-match promo, we all saw who came out. David Finlay, who looked at Sonata saying, you don't have no permission to be in my ring. So telling him that he's not going to win this match because this match, the New Japan Cup, belongs to David Finlay. But nothing has been destined yet until we get to Tuesday. So that is something we can expect. So I have to say, we're almost there to the end, but we'll just wait and see until Tuesday. But at this moment, let's just end it right here with the reviews and move on with our last thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So let's get started. Now, as you know, we witnessed the return of FTR to AEW after, of course, the Ass Boys retained the titles. But, however, we saw FTR. Now, many people have speculated, are they back with AEW? We know that their contract expired in April. However, Dax Harwood went to Twitter and posted this, but many people are kind of speculating. Now, this is what he had to say. Just got off the phone with Cash. We've decided that we're going to do come April. Nothing's official yet, so legally we can't speak on it. But in the next couple weeks, we'll let you all, our fans, know. We owe it to y'all for our opportunities. We have it in front of us. Love y'all. So, what does that tell us as fans? Well, some people could say that they re-signed with AEW. We don't know. Are they going to, once they're done in April, leave to another company? We don't know yet. So basically, there's a lot of speculations and anticipation after this, but we'll find out soon enough. I know some of you are already speculating things, so which is normal, but some things need to remain patient for everyone. So I think that's pretty much it, what we got for that. Now, moving on. Let's see. Oh, yeah. West Coast Pro has announced for their upcoming event that will take place in June, called Operation Stalkola. Has been renamed for reasons is that I think they might have lost a supporter and a friend named Matt Kid Zombie Man. Apparently, they're renaming the show to Kid Zombie in memory of, I don't know who this guy is, but whatever the reason is, we understand. But I think Kid Zombie is a very interesting name. But anyway, in relation to West Coast Pro, as you know, we have the Prestige Wrestling Nervous Breakdown taking place on the 31st of March during WrestleMania Weekend. It was announced by the West Coast Pro that their top title, the West Coast Pro Championship title, will be on the line. Titus Alexander will defend the title against Michael Oku. So that's kind of interesting to hear. Now, our last thing, as you know, we can't come off Grand Princess this past weekend, this Saturday. 2 matches have been announced, which are title matches. As you know, we have brand new Princess Tag Team Champions, Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita, winning their first tag titles, since they formed together. They take on the former champions, the Magical Sugar Rabbits, Yuka Sakazaki and Mizuki, who is also our current Princess of Princess Championship. So this is going to be interesting. So this is going to be in LA as well. This one's going to be on the 31st. But however, that's not the only title that will be defended. It will also have the international Princess title will be on the line. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of interesting to hear. But so yeah, I have to say, because we know that Mizuki will, we know she's the current Princess champion, but it would make sense. But nonetheless, we're okay with that. Now, finally, I think we have some WrestleCon participants. Oh yes, okay. Speaking of that, relation to Tokyo Pro Wrestling for WrestleCon, it's announced that many of the stars of Tokyo Pro Wrestling will be at WrestleCon. Here's who they decided to bring in. We have Mizuki, our current Princess champion, Miyu Watanabe, Hyper Misao, and of course Hikari Noah. I have to say, I wish I would have gone to WrestleCon, but it's too late for me right now. I mean, I would like to meet, Miyu Watanabe and Hikari Noah, but so if you guys are planning to go to WrestleCon, and now you know that you got some stars from Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling. They're going to be there. So letting you guys know. So I think that's pretty much it right now. So let's just call it a day. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we got AEW Dark Elevation. There's still some events I haven't seen, but I'm considering just watching the much recent events by GCW, which is Eye for an Eye and Worst Behavior, that happened 2 days apart, but we'll go from there. But at this moment, we'll just leave it as that. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.